Welcome to Teachings from the Masters with Daryl Shaun Price.
Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So today I want to talk to you about the art of allowing. Let me explain to you why I'm calling that an art. Because when you're truly allowing things to be exactly as they are, it is a balance of you being aware of what is. The trees, the sky, the grass, the sun, the wind, without judging, without reacting, without a need to go fix anything. Just allowing it to be what it is and observing. And why is that so important? Because everything outside of you, every external experience, every piece of matter, everything that you experience in your life externally is a reflection of your internal alignment and is there as feedback for what works and what doesn't. So let's say you have an experience of a toxic relationship. Yeah, you can put in all this effort. I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to fix them, and I'm going to do all this communicating. I'm going to push and push and push. Or you observe it without attachment, without judgment. Oh, it's an experience I had. I had this experience. It does not have to affect my identity. It's just feedback of this doesn't work for me. Okay, I'm going to go back internal now and work on my alignment until I feel like I want to feel, and then just be aware of the next feedback loop. And I know that sounds completely counterproductive. Well, you're supposed to work on relationships and you've got to go fix this. And if you're in a toxic relationship, you need to. Yes, there will be things you respond to. You don't allow yourself to stay in a situation that's abusive, for example. But the creation point is here, not out there. So you respond, you are aware, and you allow it to be what it is. And this goes for anything, good or bad. Because the idea is if you are attached to the external, you only get what you've ever gotten, because all you're doing is playing with the same parameters that you've already created. And, you know, there are so many texts throughout all of history, philosophical, spiritual, religious texts that have a phrase to the effect of, as a man thinketh, so is he. And that one comes from the Bible. But the principle behind it is the same no matter where you hear it from. Your thoughts create your identity. Your identity is what creates your reality. Because that reality is a reflection of your identity. So I'm going to give you a quick example, and then we're going to dig in a little bit deeper. So, for example, for many years, or let me correct, many years ago, for about a year or so, I was a radio talk show host in a radio station that was very conservative. And my talk show was very different than the other ones on the station. I did not have the same views. I did not have the same perspectives in life. Mine was very much about good news and wonderful things happening in the world, not about debating the politics and conservatism versus liberalism or anything else like that. But everybody else there was very, very conservative. And they had this sign on the door. This sign that said, "We 100% support the Second Amendment. We are all armed in here. If you come in and try to rob us, we will shoot you, and we are within our rights to do so." I don't own a gun. I don't really care about guns. I'm not a gun advocate. My opinions on guns are not going to come into this podcast, by the way. But the point was, that is definitely not something I would ever have on a door of mine. But I'm working there. I'm working there 5 days a week. So I remember talking to my producer at one point, because I was really curious, like, this is such a huge, bold statement, like, we will protect ourselves and we have guns and we will shoot you, etc. And I was curious and asked my producer, so have you ever at any point actually needed a gun to protect yourself? And immediately she goes, "Oh yes, absolutely. There's been several times I've had to pull my gun to warn people off my property and away from my car." And she had incident after incident. So I talked to a couple other of the talk show hosts who very much support that perspective of life. And it was the same thing. "Oh yeah, I had to pull my gun to scare away these punk teens who were doing this and that." And I was thinking about my life. There is no instance in my life where I can say if I had a gun, I would have felt safer, or that felt like if I had a gun, I would have had to pull it out to protect myself. Now, I want it clear, nobody that I talked to has actually ever shot anyone with a gun. But they had it and they pulled it out, and they were definitely showing their support of the Second Amendment in the way they interpreted it. Now, we lived in the same world, arguably so much so that we worked in the same place. They, with their perspective and the boundaries they created, have incidents over and over again that prove what they believe. Me, with other beliefs, have incidents over and over again that prove what I believe. It's the same world. But the world I created was different than theirs. The world they created was different than mine. So your beliefs, your subconscious, are the limits that you are putting on the experiences you are having now. If you have repeated patterns of toxic relationships, you have a belief behind the toxicity of relationships, or that people out there, there's just no one good anymore, or that you have to settle, or that whatever it is, there's something creating that. If you have a pattern of health concern after health concern after health concern and your body's falling apart, you have a belief that your body's going to fall apart somewhere, or it wouldn't happen. If you have financial struggles that keep happening over and over and over again and never seem to get ahead, you have a belief that is creating that experience. And I know you're going to say, well, I didn't choose all the bad things that happened, and I didn't choose to hurt myself like this person did, and I didn't choose all of the inflation and all of the other things that are happening. Okay, but there are other people in the same world having a very different experience than you. And the only difference is the boundaries within which they are creating their experiences, which are those beliefs. So what does that mean for you? That means you shift your identity and the world shifts to match. This is where the art of allowing comes in. You are so detached from any outcome that anything that happens out there is just feedback that you get to use to adjust your internal alignment. Let's talk a little bit more about how that works. So, something happens and it doesn't matter what it is. I went and got a drink of water and accidentally got it down the wrong tube and started coughing. Not bad, not good, just an experience. And that's one most of you probably don't get hugely emotionally attached to. You're just aware it happened. Now, you might be somebody who judges yourself and goes, man, I'm so stupid. I don't believe I didn't drink correctly or whatever it is. Oh, look, you're filling in with the beliefs you have. This thing is proving the beliefs. Everything that you're experiencing is proving the beliefs you have. So here's what I want you to do. So I want you to start paying attention to how you feel on the inside first, before anything. Like seriously, wake up in the morning, get yourself to a place of peace. Then as an experience happens, okay, acknowledge it. This thing happened. I sipped water and coughed because it went down the wrong tube. Be aware that it happened. Accept that it happened. Be appreciative that it happened. Why would you be appreciative of something like that? Because it's a feedback. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to really start being aware of what is happening around you without attachment to it. Completely. And that doesn't mean if it's good, I'm going to go out and be attached to it. No, anything. Because it's all just feedback. So something happens, you're aware, you allow it, you accept it, and you appreciate it. Because it is feedback. It is feedback for you and your soul. How in alignment are you? Oh, wow, I had this experience I don't like. Okay, well, I'm not in alignment. Oh, I had this experience that really feels good. Okay, that's in alignment. And that's really all it's about, guys. Everything you experience is an omen of being in alignment or not. If it feels like peace, it's in alignment. If it doesn't feel like peace, it's not in alignment. The experience I'm having right now, the wind is blowing my hair in the middle of recording a podcast. I'm aware of it. I could react to it. I could pause the whole podcast and say, oh, nope, we're going to change everything. Or I can just keep talking, move the hair out of my face and keep going. I'm aware of it. And if it's something I don't like, okay, let me go back in and feel like I do like. And I'm not going to go out and like, I'm going to change the wind and I got to fix everything and I got to go move to a new location. I'm not going to go out and work at it. Because my job isn't to change the external reality. It's to change my identity so that the external reality matches what I prefer. And in this case, this is something that is not a huge deal to me. So I'm going to keep it as it is. This is not something that affects my peace. And if anything, what a great object lesson as we're talking about this, the art of allowing. So let's talk more about you and what that looks like. So when you are in that state of truly allowing, you're completely authentic. This feels good, this doesn't. I prefer this, I don't. I am this person. This is what I desire. This does not feel like it matches it. Okay, no longer paying attention. This feels like it does. Okay, I'm going to give it more attention. You're completely detached. You're not judging. You're not worried about what happens, good or bad. You're just allowing it to happen and observing it and aware of it. Respond accordingly, sure. There may be some things you need to respond to, but respond and go back internal. You also are releasing any need to be attached to anything outside of you. And in that releasing, you are now lighter and more open and more willing to let miracles happen for you. Because the miracles are never going to make sense. It's never going to fit into the boundaries you already have, or it wouldn't be a miracle. And for you to get rid of those boundaries, you got to stop paying attention to the reality that was created within those boundaries. So, this comes to the next point. Being so open to the unknown. You have no clue what's about to happen, and you don't need to. All you need to do is observe it and then decide how it feels. Does it feel in alignment or not? If it does, I'm going to lean in. If it doesn't, I'm not paying attention to it anymore. And that's going to be scary. That's going to be scary to your mind because your mind gives you fear whenever it feels like your identity is threatened. And there's a lot of things you're paying attention to that is part of your current identity, part of those beliefs you've already built that says this is who you are and this is the way the world works. If I don't go work hard at a job, I'm not going to have enough money. Oh, part of your identity. If I don't get up and take care of every little thing that my kids need, they're never going to succeed in life. And it's my job as a parent. Oh, part of your identity. If I don't go and exercise 4 to 5 times a week really, really hard, I will never be healthy. Oh, part of your identity. So everything that you believe is creating the experiences you have as part of your identity. So when you stop paying attention to the external, your mind is going to freak out and say, well, but you're not living up to these things that we said was part of the identity. And oh my gosh, you're losing your identity. Your mind is there to protect that identity because that's what it built as it interpreted energetic signatures and turned it into the symbols that are your external reality. And that's how creation works. So your spirit, the energy of creation that is found in all things, is pure energy. As that energy flows through you, your mind cannot just perceive pure energy. It takes that and takes that energy, and within the boundaries it's already set as this is the identity we're living, will create experiences. Sometimes those boundaries have created beliefs that are not in alignment with that energy of creation, and that's where you don't feel good when something happens. And that's definitely what you want to pay attention to. Oh, okay. So I've got another toxic relationship I got into. I don't like that. Okay, there's an attachment there that I need to release. And you don't need to go digging in and where's that attachment? Let me find it. I'm going to take it out of the files of my mind and subconscious and I'm going to throw it away. No, stop paying attention to it. Starve it of attention. Start paying attention to what you do want. Okay, well, I want my relationships to feel uplifting. I want them to feel like an equal energy exchange. I want them to feel like we both support one another completely. Okay, well, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to use my imagination, which is the point of creation, and I'm going to feel what that feels like. And then I'm going to let it go. That's another part of the allowing. You allow the miracle to arrive, allowed the miracle to arrive exactly when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to, without you trying to figure out what that means. Now, a lot of times people I've worked with will try to force their miracles to fit within current boundaries. So the relationship example. Okay, so I want this type of a relationship. I've imagined it. And because I know there's not a lot of good people out there, I got to go through a lot of bad dates to find that. No, you don't. You could end up walking down the street and meeting somebody that's perfect for you because you happened to turn right instead of left because it felt like peace to do so. Yeah, but I really need to research people and do background checks and go through all of these things to make sure I find the right match for me. So you're trying to force this new miracle into the old identity. This is why the art of allowing is so important. You observe, you're aware, you allow things to be exactly as they are, and do not try to change them. You know, in the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu said, you want to change the world? I don't think it can be done. And what he was alluding to there is going out and trying to fix things externally just actually creates more things to fix. You get into alignment, and the ripples you create will change the world around you. There are people right now living their best life despite what's happening in the world. There are people right now living their worst life with what's happening in the world. They're in the same world. So now it's time for you. It's time for you to decide to stop trying to correct everything outside of you and just focus on being in alignment. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, it will take some practice, this art of allowing. To be able to watch something happen and have no attachment to it, especially something that is a big deal to your current identity, will take some practice. So what do you do when you find yourself overreacting and now you're attached again and, oh my gosh, this thing is happening, I got to go fix it? Let me walk you through a quick process that I use. First, calm the body. The body is trained to react to these threats to your identity because that's just what it does. Your body is what reacts to the world. Your body is how you interact with the external world. So when mind sends signal of fear, no, your identity is being attacked, body tenses up, you're now in fight or flight mode. So relax the body. Take some deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, longer than you breathe in. It sends signals to your body that you are safe right now, and it calms your nervous system. Once my body is calm, I give my mind one job. Now, the mind wants data. It wants feedback. So it can look out there or it can look in here. And it can come from any direction. Right now, if there's any threat to your current identity because you're trying not to pay attention to it so that you can shift those beliefs, automatically your mind's looking out there saying, oh, fire, we got to fix it. We got to do something. We don't know. No, you're hurt. This identity's in threat now. So what do? You give it a different job. You tell it to look inside at how you feel right now. It doesn't matter what the feeling is. It could be fear. It could be anger. It could be frustration. It could be anxiety. Just watch the feeling. You're training your mind to pay more attention to internal alignment than external experiences. So you watch the feeling. Okay, I feel it in my chest. There's a heaviness. There's a sharpness. I can feel it throughout the rest of my body in this way. Observe that feeling until it passes. Not the thoughts of why that feeling is there. Oh, I feel anxiety because this person. No. Just the feeling itself, independent of whatever's happening. And once that feeling's passed, keep your focus inside and ask yourself one question. What feels like peace right now? And a thought will pop up, and whatever it is, you act on it. You don't justify. So the mind will automatically come in with, let's say the thought is, I'm going to go sit in a hammock. Mind will come in and go, well, that's not what you need to do right now because you still got to take care of that. Nope. Feels like peace to sit in a hammock. I'm doing it. I don't know why it feels like peace. I don't care. I'm following the peace because right now, my internal alignment is what is important. And I will tell you, this is my own personal rule, but it works. I never respond to the external world if I am not in internal alignment. And sometimes that's frustrating because your identity says, no, you've got to take care of this and you can't just let it go and it's urgent. I never respond to the external world unless I am in internal alignment. Until I feel at peace on the inside, the external world doesn't get my response. And most of the time, the response is so much easier, so much lighter, so much less tense than my mind thought it was defending my old identity. And as I've practiced this art of allowing, just observing, just being aware, and shifting back to internal alignment, I've seen so many miracles in my life. I do not struggle with finances like I used to. I do not have issues with relationships like I used to. I do not have issues with my health like I used to. And none of it was me going out there saying, here's an issue, we've got to solve it. Okay, let me come up with a plan. It was me shifting my identity and allowing the experiences to match. Remember, there is nothing greater than the power of you. When you are living in alignment, you will naturally create your happiest life, and you will manifest miracles. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.